What would you do if doing the right thing could destroy everything you've worked for, your career, your respect, your future, and nobody would ever know the truth except you? No applause. No reward. No second chance. Just one silent decision and lifelong consequences. Most people think courage means standing in front of danger. But real courage often appears when no one is watching, when silence is safer, and when walking away feels much easier than standing firm. This is not a story about medals. This is not a story about sacrifice you already expect. This is a story about a choice that forced one army officer to decide what kind of human being he wanted to be. Before you assume you know how this ends, pause for a moment. Because at one point in this story, you will ask yourself a very uncomfortable question. If I were in his place, what would I actually do? This story will change how you see courage, responsibility, and the quiet decisions you make every single day, decisions no one notices, but which define who you truly are. Welcome to Mindful Stories, where stories are not told to entertain you, but to make you think. He joined the army like many others, young, disciplined, focused. Not because he wanted glory, but because he believed structure creates strength. Rules made sense to him. Order felt safe. And doing what was expected felt enough. Years passed quietly. No headlines. No dramatic missions. Just routine patrols, paperwork, training drills. He learned one thing very clearly: the army doesn't reward emotions, it rewards obedience. Then one evening, something happened that was never meant to happen. During a routine operation, a mistake was made, not by him, but by someone higher in command. A mistake that could cost innocent lives. The easiest solution was silence. Adjust the report. Follow instructions. Let the system protect itself. Everyone around him knew this rule: don't question what keeps order intact. But that night, he couldn't sleep. Not because of fear. Not because of guilt. But because a single thought kept returning: if I stay silent today, what does that make me tomorrow? He knew the consequences. Speaking up meant isolation. Transfers. Career stagnation. Maybe worse. The system doesn't like mirrors. This wasn't a movie moment. No dramatic music. No heroic background score. Just a man sitting alone, staring at a file, deciding which version of himself would survive. He imagined the future if he stayed quiet. Promotions would come. Life would move on. No one would ever accuse him. And yet, something inside him felt permanently compromised. So he did something unexpected. He wrote the truth. Clear. Precise. No exaggeration. No emotion. Just facts. The reaction was immediate and cold. Meetings stopped including him. Conversations ended when he entered rooms. He was labeled difficult. Not wrong, just inconvenient. Months passed. Nothing improved. But something else happened quietly. He stopped doubting himself. Even in isolation, his mind felt stable. One day, a junior officer asked him softly, "Sir, was it worth it?" He didn't answer immediately. Because the honest answer wasn't simple. It wasn't heroic. It was human. He said, "I don't know if it helped my career, but I know it saved my self-respect. And that's something no uniform can give you." Years later, the mistake he reported came back into discussion. Quietly. Without drama. His report became a reference. Not celebrated, but acknowledged. He never became famous. He never gave speeches. But he became something rarer, someone whose integrity didn't depend on outcomes. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people admire such individuals, but hope they never have to be one. Because integrity is expensive. And payment is taken up front. This story isn't about the army alone. It's about offices, families, friendships. About moments when silence is rewarded and honesty is punished. And the question remains the same. What would you do if the cost of doing the right thing was paid entirely by you, and no one promised recognition? If this story made you uncomfortable, that's a good thing. Because growth often begins with discomfort. So tell me honestly, would you have stayed silent? Or would you have written the truth, knowing exactly what it could cost you? Drop your answer in the comments. There is no right or wrong, only honesty. If you want more stories that don't just entertain, but challenge how you think, subscribe to Mindful Stories. Because real change doesn't come from loud heroism, it comes from quiet decisions made when no one is watching.